There is a quiet, toxic belief that whispers into your ear, a belief that the people who are closest to you, the ones you share blood with, the ones who are supposed to support you, can never change. This belief tells you that you have to walk away, that the only way to protect yourself is to sever the ties, to cut off family members who have failed to meet your expectations, who have wounded you, and who continue to drag you back into their toxic webs. But here's the harsh truth. Cutting them off is not the solution. It's not the way to reclaim your peace, to find your power, to live the life you're meant to live. What you truly need to cut off is not the people around you. What you need to cut off is the illusion that your family should be perfect, the illusion that they owe you something: love, validation, understanding, transformation, the illusion that if they don't change, your life will always be incomplete. You see, when you expect someone to be something they cannot be, you place yourself in a prison of your own making. You hand over your power to an illusion that holds you hostage, prevents you from growing, and keeps you emotionally tethered to the past. You don't need to sever relationships. You need to sever the idea that they are responsible for your happiness. You need to let go of the fantasy that they will one day get it, or that they will ever become the people you wish they were. The reality is that people are who they are, and they will not change unless they choose to, and most likely they won't. And that's okay. The key to your freedom lies in accepting them for who they are, without the constant weight of expectation hanging over them. When you stop expecting your family to meet the needs you've created in your own mind, you free yourself. You release the chains that have bound you to disappointment and frustration. You can finally breathe again. You can finally move forward with clarity, with peace, and with the ability to love without conditions. The prison of expectations are like invisible chains that we wear without even realizing it. We are told from a young age that family should be everything that they are, the ones who will love us unconditionally, the ones who will support us through every challenge, the ones who will be there when we fall. But what happens when those expectations are not met? When the people who are supposed to love us don't love us in the way we need? When the ones who should understand us are the ones who reject us or disappoint us? This is the place where most people stay stuck in the prison of unmet expectations. We sit in that dark room, staring at the bars we've built, wondering why they won't let us out. But here's the truth. Those bars are not made by your family. They're made by you. You built them with your own hands, with the belief that family is supposed to be a certain way, that they are supposed to fulfill a role they were never meant to fill. The first step in breaking free from this prison is to confront your expectations, to look at them honestly and ask yourself, why am I expecting this from them? Are you expecting them to give you what they themselves were never taught to give? Are you expecting them to fulfill emotional roles that are not theirs to fill? Expectations are rooted in the belief that something outside of us must change in order for us to be happy. But the truth is that nothing outside of you will ever bring you the peace you seek if you are unwilling to give that peace to yourself. Expecting family members to meet your emotional needs is a trap. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of frustration, disappointment, and resentment. You don't need to cut them off. You need to cut off the idea that they are responsible for your healing, for your happiness, for your sense of self-worth. You need to stop living in the shadow of unfulfilled expectations and start living in the light of acceptance. The illusion of perfect family. What we often forget is that our families are not supposed to be perfect. We place this ideal onto them, an ideal that they can never meet. We want them to be our emotional saviors, our protectors, our guides, our providers. But no family, no matter how loving or well-intentioned, can bear the weight of that expectation. Your family is filled with individuals who are themselves wounded, imperfect, and navigating their own challenges. They have their own fears, their own flaws, and their own broken pieces. They are not infallible gods. They are human beings doing the best they can with the tools they were given. And when you place this burden of perfection on them, you doom yourself to disappointment. Jung spoke about the need to integrate the shadow, the parts of ourselves we reject or ignore. The same applies to our families. We are often unwilling to see them as they truly are, imperfect, flawed, and human. Instead, we try to force them into the box of our idealized expectations, and when they fail to fit, we feel hurt, betrayed, and frustrated. But what would happen if we accepted them as they are, without the need for them to be anything else? This is where true freedom begins, in the acceptance of imperfection. The moment you stop expecting your family to be perfect is the moment you stop holding them to impossible standards. You stop trying to force them into the mold of your fantasy, and you begin to see them as they truly are. And in that seeing, in that acceptance, you find peace, taking responsibility for your own healing. One of the greatest shifts you can make is to stop waiting for your family to heal you. Too often, we place the responsibility for our emotional healing into the hands of others, especially our family. We expect them to offer the validation, the love, or the recognition we never received, hoping that their actions will somehow make us feel whole. But no one can heal you but you. Healing comes when you take responsibility for your own emotional well-being. It comes when you stop waiting for someone else to fulfill your needs and start fulfilling them yourself. You have the power to create the life you want, the peace you seek, and the emotional health you deserve. Family may have played a role in your pain, but they are not the ones who can fix it. The healing journey is yours to walk. It is not a path that can be walked by anyone else. Once you accept this truth, you free yourself from the dependency on others to heal your wounds. You stop looking to family for the emotional support they cannot provide, and you begin to create the support system that nurtures your soul. True healing is not about fixing the other person. It's about healing yourself. And once you heal, you can approach your family with love, compassion, and understanding, knowing that their struggles are their own, and that you are no longer bound by the need for them to be different. The power of boundaries. When you stop expecting your family to change, you are no longer at the mercy of their behavior. You stop living in reaction to their words, their actions, their mood swings. Instead, you step into your own power and create boundaries that protect your emotional health. Boundaries are not walls. They are the lines you draw in the sand to protect your peace. Boundaries are an expression of self-respect, of knowing that you are worthy of love, of kindness, and of understanding. And when you stop expecting your family to meet your needs in ways they cannot, you can begin to set clear boundaries that allow you to engage with them in a way that honors your emotional well-being. Jung believed that self-awareness was the key to transformation. When you know who you are, when you know what you need, when you understand what is non-negotiable in your life, you can set boundaries that protect your soul from the chaos of others' dysfunction. You can love them without losing yourself. You can engage with them without giving up your peace. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love, an act of courage. It is the acknowledgement that you are the one responsible for your happiness and that you will not allow anyone, no matter how close they are, to violate your peace. The liberation of letting go. The moment you let go of the illusion, the moment you release your family from the impossible expectation to change, you liberate yourself. You stop carrying the weight of the past, of disappointment, of frustration. You stop carrying the burden of unspoken expectations and unmet desires. You let go of the fantasy that someone else will heal you, complete you, or fix what is broken. Letting go is not an act of weakness. It is an act of strength. It is a strength to walk away from the stories that have held you captive for so long. It is the strength to release the emotional burden you have been carrying and to step into a life of freedom, of peace, of true emotional independence. When you let go, you allow room for new possibilities. You make space for new relationships, for new experiences, for new ways of being. You no longer live in the past, no longer stuck in the illusion of what could have been. You live in the reality of what is. And in that reality, you have the power to shape your future, creating your own peace. You cannot control your family. You cannot change their past, their behavior, or their choices, but you can control your response to them. You can choose how you engage, how much of yourself you give, and how much space you create to protect your peace. Creating your own peace is an act of sovereignty. It is choosing yourself first, choosing your emotional well-being, and choosing to live in a way that aligns with your deepest values. When you stop expecting family to change, you stop giving them the power to dictate your emotional state. You reclaim that power, and you become the creator of your own inner world. The truth of liberation. You are free. The truth is simple. You are free the moment you let go of the illusion, free from the need for validation, free from the chains of expectation, free to love, free to grow, free to live on your own terms. When you stop waiting for family to change, you step into the fullness of who you are. You take back your feet. When you stop expecting your family to change, you begin a profound journey of self-love. It's not about waiting for someone else to give you the validation you crave. It's about recognizing that you are the only one who can truly fill that void. Self-love is the foundation of everything. It is the cornerstone on which your entire life is built. When you love yourself unconditionally, you stop relying on others to fulfill that role. You stop looking outside yourself for the approval, the recognition, and the love that you are fully capable of giving yourself. Self-love isn't about vanity or ego. It's not about thinking you are better than others. It's about honoring your worth, acknowledging your strengths, and embracing your imperfections. It's about accepting yourself as you are, right here and right now, without needing to change a single thing. And when you do this, when you truly love and accept yourself, you no longer give others the power to dictate how you feel. You become immune to their judgments, their criticisms, and their limitations. You rise above the emotional chaos that used to pull you under. Jung believed that individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, is one of the most important journeys we take. When you love yourself, when you accept yourself fully, you begin the process of individuation. You step into your true self, shedding the layers of self-doubt, self-criticism, and external influence. You stop being defined by anyone else's standards and start defining yourself on your own terms. This is the moment when you stop waiting for your family to love you the way you want, and instead you love yourself in the way you need. This is where your true strength lies. It's in the recognition that you are whole, you are worthy, and you are enough just as you are. The freedom to choose your own family. There is no greater freedom than the freedom to choose the people you surround yourself with. While family may have shaped you, it is not the only family you are meant to have. The bonds we form are not always determined by blood. Some of the strongest, most fulfilling relationships are built by choice. The people who choose to stand by us, support us, and love us in ways that transcend biology. These are the people who see us for who we truly are. They recognize our worth, they respect our boundaries, and they allow us to grow without the baggage of expectations. Choosing your own family is about surrounding yourself with individuals who elevate you, who challenge you to become the best version of yourself, and who hold space for your growth. These are the people who allow you to be vulnerable without judgment, who see your flaws and embrace them as part of who you are. They encourage you to reach your potential, and when you stumble, they pick you up with compassion, not criticism. When you stop expecting your biological family to fulfill roles they can't, you create the opportunity to build a tribe that resonates with your soul's purpose. You attract the people who mirror the love you've cultivated for yourself. These are the people who see your light and your shadow and love you through both. And in this tribe, you will find the healing, the support, and the unconditional love you've been searching for all along. The liberation of letting go of the past As you continue to let go of the illusion that your family must change, you will find that you also start letting go of the past. You stop living in the emotional residue of old wounds, of hurtful words, of unspoken expectations. The past no longer has the power to control your present. You stop reliving the pain of what could have been, and you start creating the life that is waiting for you. This liberation comes when you stop defining yourself by your family's limitations, by their failures, by their inability to meet your emotional needs. You begin to release the chains that have kept you stuck in the past, the stories of abandonment, neglect, rejection, or disappointment. You stop looking back with bitterness and start looking forward with possibility. Forgiveness plays a key role in this liberation, not because you condone the wrongs that were done to you, but because you understand that holding on to the past only keeps you tied to the pain. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door to your freedom. It allows you to move forward, to release the grip of resentment, and to make space for new experiences and new relationships. When you forgive, you free yourself. You no longer let the past control your future. You become the architect of your own life, free from the constraints of old stories, old hurts, and old wounds. You choose the future you want, and you step into it without looking back. Reclaiming your power. Freedom is power. It is the realization that you are the sole creator of your own life. When you stop expecting your family to change, when you let go of the illusions that have kept you tethered to them, you reclaim the power that has always been yours. The power to create, to heal, to love, and to live fully. Your power doesn't come from anyone else. It doesn't come from the approval of others. It doesn't come from the validation you hope to receive from your family. Your power comes from within. It comes from the choices you make, the actions you take, and the way you show up for yourself every single day. Reclaiming your power means taking responsibility for your life. It means understanding that you are the one who determines how you feel, how you respond, and how you move through the world. It means recognizing that you have the ability to shape your own destiny, regardless of the past or the limitations others have placed on you. When you reclaim your power, you stop seeking external sources of validation. You stop giving away your energy to people who are not in alignment with your values or your vision. You stop letting family dynamics control your happiness and your well-being. You stand firm in your truth, in your authenticity, and in your power. This is the moment when you become fully awake, the moment when you realize that you are not bound by anyone's story but your own. You have the power to create the life you desire, and you do so by no longer waiting for anyone else to change. You change, you evolve. And in doing so, you free yourself from the past, from the pain, and from the illusion that your family must be anything other than who they are. The final truth: you are free. The truth is simple. You are free the moment you stop expecting your family to change, the moment you release them from the emotional burden you've placed on them, the moment you take ownership of your own healing, your own happiness, and your own journey. You are free when you stop waiting for others to give you what you need. You are free when you choose to love yourself unconditionally, to set boundaries that protect your peace, and to surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. The family you were born into does not define you. Your past does not define you. Your worth is not determined by anyone else's actions or behavior. You are the creator of your own life. You have the power to choose your path, to embrace your truth, and to live with the freedom and peace you deserve. You don't need to cut off family. You need to cut off the illusion that they owe you something, the illusion that they must change for you to be whole, the illusion that they are the key to your happiness. Once you let go of that illusion, you are free. You are free to love them without conditions. You are free to live your life on your own terms. You are free to step into your full potential, and in that freedom, you become unstoppable. This is your life. Own it. Live it. And never, ever look back. At the end of this journey, When you no longer rely on anyone else for your emotional well-being, you will realize a profound truth. You are the master of your own destiny. The moment you stop expecting your family to change, to offer you what they were never meant to, you step into a space where your power is entirely yours. And in this power, you become free. This freedom is not just a concept, it's a living, breathing force that courses through your veins. It's the ability to choose yourself, to decide what your life will be, and to create it from a place of absolute clarity. It's the ability to let go of past hurts, to forgive not just others but yourself, and to move forward without looking back. You no longer need validation from those who don't understand you, and you no longer need approval from anyone who hasn't yet grasped your worth. Your worth isn't dependent on their acceptance, their love, or their approval. It exists in your very being, in your capacity to love yourself fiercely and unapologetically. You are free because you have chosen yourself. You will love your family, but not from a place of dependency, not from a place of expectation, not from the need for them to meet your needs. You will love them as they are, knowing that they are not your responsibility to fix or to change. Your relationship with them becomes one of freedom, one where you can show up as you are, and they can show up as they are. No illusions, no conditions, no chains. This is the moment of real liberation, when you stop seeking external permission to live your truth. You have been waiting for approval, for someone to tell you that you are enough, that you are worthy. But the truth is that you have always been enough. You've always been worthy. You just needed to recognize that the only permission you need is your own. You are free from the stories that have held you back, from the false narratives that told you that your happiness, your peace, your joy are dependent on others. You are free from the fantasy of what your family should be. You are free to create your own reality, your own truth, your own love. Now, with this new understanding, you can move forward with purpose. You can live without the weight of expectation hanging over you. You can make decisions based on your own vision for your life, not on what others think is right or expected of you. The chains are broken. The illusion is shattered. You are free. This is the moment where you stand tall in your power, knowing that the life you've always dreamed of is not out of reach, it's within you. You don't need to wait for anyone to change. You've already begun to change, and that change is the spark that will set your world on fire. You have the freedom to build the life you want, to live authentically, to create a future that is in alignment with your true self. The door is wide open, and you hold the key. Now go, live, love, and never look back. This is your life. It's yours to create. Step into it fully, unapologetically, and with absolute confidence. You are enough. You are whole. You are free. And nothing at all can stop you now.